Every level of consciousness is limited by the frame within which it operates, as well as by the mechanism of its action within that frame. In its own field of action, with its own native operation, the mind can be a powerful tool and aid to the individual. Yet, when it tries to assert for itself the power to judge things and forces that are beyond its frame of reference, it becomes an obstacle to a deeper understanding. The reason tries to subject all events and phenomena to its own interpretations. What we see with observation over time, of course, is that the reason has a narrow frame within which it operates, and thus we continually have to revise our understanding and explanations for things as we begin to see and appreciate facts that were previously hidden from us. How can the power of reason interpret those things that go beyond the scope of reason? How does reason explain the existence of the universe? How does reason explain the interdependent, symbiotic, and finely detailed interaction of the entire creation? How does reason appreciate the deeper currents of existence, the evolutionary movement through time, and the depths of space? These and many other things go far beyond the scope of reason and require higher, more comprehensive, more unified powers of consciousness in order to be understood. In the meantime, if reason limits itself to its function and position in the scope of the manifestation, there is no doubt that it has its purpose, its significance, and its power of action, which need to be employed under the control of the divine spiritual purpose behind the universal manifestation. A disciple asks, is reason the highest function of the mind? The mother writes, quote, of the mind properly speaking, of the human mind, yes, certainly. That is, with the reason one doesn't risk making mistakes, as long as one remains in the purely human and purely mental domain. The disciple follows up. How can reason become an obstacle to the spiritual life? The mother continues, because it understands nothing about it. Spiritual life goes beyond it. It is not its domain, and it doesn't understand anything there. It is a very good instrument for all ethics, morality, self-control, but spiritual life goes beyond these things, and reason understands nothing of it. Disciple, but if one truly has reason, then reason has to admit that the spiritual life is higher. The mother responds, yes. Disciple, then why does it become an obstacle? The mother explains, quote, on condition that it keeps quiet, does not intervene anymore. If it tries to intervene, it is an obstacle. If it withdraws in an orderly way and remains quiet, then it is very good. It is an obstacle if you want to use it as judge and master, but it is not an obstacle if you use it as an instrument, like all the other parts of the being. It is an excellent instrument on condition that it remains an instrument and doesn't want to become the master who decides and judges. It is a power of judgment which, in its field, is absolutely right. But as soon as it goes beyond its domain, it cannot understand. It has no discernment any longer. So, if the reason understands this and keeps quiet, with the attitude of an instrument and not of master and judge, it is perfect. But for this, the growing consciousness must already be developed enough in a suprarational domain to be able to act on the reason from above and make it understand the thing, because that domain is not a part of reason. So naturally, it denies it unless there is a part of the consciousness which is sufficiently developed to be able to put something upon it that will make it understand, all depends on the degree of development of the individual's consciousness. End quote. Reference, Sri Aurobindo and the Mother, Our Many Selves, Practical Yogic Psychology, Chapter 2, Planes and Parts of the Being, pages 41 to 43.